Yes, you are not imagining things. I have finally, after a full year, decided to come back to Twin Star Exorcists. I have not had the time or the opportunity to review this, Blue Exorcist, Four Nights in Eden Zero, all the time, and I also wanted to do World Trigger at some point also, maybe this month, I don't know yet. I haven't read or recorded a review for the chapter yet at this point, unless it's out already. But I wanted to keep doing Blue Exorcist was a series that I've been adamant about keeping on the channel. I just wasn't able to do so due to being on vacation the last 2 months and other stuff going on, as well as the fact that September was a break for Blue Exorcist. But Twin Star Exorcist, I've been reading on my own, and I regret not continuing my reviews of the series, as it's just been really good, and so much plot and stuff has happened over the past year since my initial review when I started this series, and I just feel really bad about it. So I want to try bringing this back to the channel and see if you guys like it, as I do want to talk about the series more, and surprisingly enough, I found a really decent chapter to come back with, as this is a lore-based chapter and sets up some more stuff. So if you like Twin Star Exorcists and want to see me talk about the series with chapter reviews and maybe other videos every once in a while, please don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button to let me know that you guys enjoy this content, and it shows that you guys are interested in content like this for the future. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I want to reach out to more people that love this series as well. So, without further ado, let's hit that intro and get right into the review. So chapter 112 of Twin Star Exorcists is out, and let me just do a quick recap from the past year. So, benio manages to go to Magano due to the fact that she is not welcome in the world of the humans anymore because of big mastermind plan from Saganashi. She tries to go help them, but spoiler alert, it was a ploy, and she started to try and take him down, and got another Kagare Basra named Beru to help her out. They fought off Saganashi and some of his minions, but then, after some mental manipulation, the Grey Yang from within her, deep in her subconscious, begins to consume her very being, and she becomes a full-on evil version of herself, full-on yin energy, and is just a mad lad person bent on destruction. Rokuro gets sealed away. Kamui and Twin Tails Girl, who I forgot her name, convinces the Basra village that they found, especially thanks to the Basra that, spoiler alert, actually raised Rokuro as a child, and he came from Magano also. They go to Tsujimikado Island to ask for a peace between the Exorcists and team up to take down Saganashi and save/beat Benio to prevent the Great Kagare from being created, and to stop Saganashi from creating, I cannot pronounce the name of this thing, the evil destined child with the Great Yin and Great Yang energies to basically destroy all the world and spread Magano throughout the whole real world, and the awakening of the King Kagare. And that is where we left off, with some character deaths. Now we are back in the real world, where Yuto's spirit manages to convene with Rokuro, who is in a prison, and has now been met with Abeno Seimei and Ashiya Doma, the ones who created the Twin Star Exorcists in the beginning, and the whole prophecy of the Destined Child. This chapter starts off with Rokuro being in awe of witnessing and seeing Abeno Seimei and Doma simulating the flesh, their spirits. But then we get a nice comedic moment with Abeno Seimei just being like all gushing, proud and embarrassed how much Rokuro has grown up and how he's become a fine young man, as she's basically his mother, and just being all like a super proud mother gawking over her only child and his achievements. It even goes over to Doma being like, "Don't you agree? They're him and Benio are lovebirds." And Doma just gets super annoyed, and then we get a funny image of him just sitting down reading a newspaper and being like, "So, did you come here to ask for Benio's hand in marriage? You wanted my permission?" Pfft, of course he didn't. So he slaps him like a bickering couple, which is honestly kind of funny, with Rokuro just not understanding what the heck is going on. And we then take a tone shift from this comedic opening to getting back to Serious Town. The reason they're able to communicate with Rokuro is that they're very close to the Abyss, but there isn't much time left. And Rokuro's being like, "Hold on, what's his own tone shift here? What? Not enough time left for what? As we then get a 2-page spread signaling that the King of Kagare's prison is soon to be destroyed and it will break free. With the title card of the chapter being revealed, Sin, we then get a quick, brief explanation and reestablishment of what Abanoseme and Domon's role is with the King of Kagare. Abanoseme is the cage keeping it sealed in the abyss of Makino, and Domon is the seal to said cage. But the cage itself is disintegrating, and it signifies that it will it will break free and destroy the world. It'll be free from Makino as well, since Abanoseme and Domon's powers are in fact fading quick, are running out a lot quicker than normal. Rokuro then asks the important question that we've all been wondering: what is the King of Kagare? Seimei states, that thing is not of this planet. And since she's been merged with the thing for over a millennia, she knows things that she doesn't even, that she wished that she didn't. Where it was born and what it craves. So backstory time for the looming threat. Because remember, after the time skip, the King of Kagare was built up to be the big threat that we have to fight. Not Sakanashi, though Sakanashi is a pretty interesting villain that I would like to talk about at some point. So, backstory time for the King of Kagare. The one we call the King of Kagare formed in the far reaches of the universe unbeknownst to any living being. In the beginning, it was but a tiny speck of cosmic dust. It had only one instinct, one purpose: to devour the negative energy of the universe to feed and grow. As it drifted through outer space, it discovered planets that sustained life. These planets provided hospitable environments where it could thrive. By leeching the energy of the planet's life forms for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years, the greater the greed and the hubris of the beings it fed upon, the more the monster grew and transformed until the negative energy stored within its body reached a critical mass. And then it would annihilate the planet it nested in and depart, reverting back to a tiny speck of space dust to find a new place to supply its negative energy as the cycle starts all over again. It would find planet after planet devouring negative emotion after negative emotion and repeating the process over and over again, destroying the planet, finding a new planet, etc., etc. And this process has been repeated for tens of thousands of years, until one day when it came to Earth. As Rokuro then remembers that Benio told her something interesting. We get a quick flashback. When Shinu, one of the Basra that was helping Benio awaken to her great Yang powers, did the awakening ritual to her, she was connected with her brother Saiki and fought him as well. But she saw some strange images. At first, she thought they were fragments of her memories, or fragments of the memories of the great Yins of the past. But then she saw images of what she took to be their future. And honestly, that whole sequence is very depressing and dark if you read it. And I would love to go over that into a separate video in itself at some point. But it was just a bunch of dark futures. But Domon says that those were the memories of the beings the king of the Kagare parasitically leached off of. The memories of civilizations it destroyed. Their planet is next in line for this fate. In other words, all the planets that were devoured and killed are futures that have already happened and pasts yet to come. As we get an image of the great Yin Benio from like the flashbacks and stuff like that. But then Domon and Seimei begin to flicker and phase out as they say their time is up. Seimei tells Rokuro that she managed to lend a hand before a couple of times, but this is probably the last time that she will help him. And begins to ask Rokuro and plead with him. What you must exorcise is this tragic cycle perpetrated by the King of Kagare. If you fail to exorcise it, humanity, the Kagare, and even the very planet will cease to exist. And Rokuro just states, I understand. But then he begins to try and say goodbye, in a sense of saying goodbye, says, I've always wanted to meet you. After all, you're my, and then Abanoseme stops him and says, I have no right to claim that title. You're guilty of so much sin. We created the Kagare, we created Magano. We failed to exorcise the King of Kagare 1,000 years ago, and thus bound you and so many others to a life of endless battle, killing, and death. But Rokuro just says, but I'm grateful for you. I can't imagine the battles you've been through yourself, and the painful choices you've had to make. It's not my place to judge you. I'm grateful to you for all the times you've come to my aid. I'm grateful to you for watching over me my whole life. As Seime's, confidence is beginning to waver as she's beginning to tear up. And I'm starting to tear up a bit too. He thanks her from the bottom of her heart for giving him life, as now he's made friends and allies, and he's experienced so much joys. He's fallen in love and gotten married. He's glad he finally has the opportunity to thank the person that gave him life in the first place. And tells her, Mother, I promise I'll save you. As Seime bursts out into tears of her son stating this to her. I gotta admit, that did kind of bring a bit of an emotional reaction to me. I did tear up a bit. When Twin Stars does something great with their emotional moments, it really does hit. And just like that, we cut right back over to the action against Demon Benio. I'm just going to call her Demon Benio, or Great Yin Benio, where Mayura, Twin Tails Girl, and Kamui are fighting her off. And we see some really nice action and powers from Twin Tail Girl, with her ability of Sound Rend, managing to knock back Benio a few bits and hit her with some sound waves. Mayura and Kamui leap forward to try and attack Benio, as they have to remember to keep her alive, but not let their guard down for a single moment or they'll be dead. Mayura and Kamui begin to attack Benio with blow after blow, as they're being blocked consistently, with Benio kind of, seemingly sustaining damage and kind of getting annoyed from the panel. As Subaru states that Benio's movements are slowing down. It's not very visible, but the damage that she and the monster that she teamed up with, again, the name escapes me, it's been a month, is actually starting to accumulate and do something to Benio's body. Twin Tails Girl then prepares her ability Sound Rend again, yelling out to Kamui and Mayura to get out of to stop and stay out of this, because Benio is hers. Because Benio, when she got corrupted, killed her friends, and now she's out for blood, if you don't remember. She then thrashes the area, hitting Benio, seemingly not really, this obviously didn't really do much, but Mayura cries out, "We're on the same side now! Don't hit us with friendly fire!" As Twin Tail Girl just states, "Please shut up. I'm gonna kill her myself. Get in my way and I'll kill you too." Kigare have goals too, If the twins, and this is actually something that's really interesting to think about, and something that ever since we got to the Basra village and learned about got development for characters like Kamui, that the Kigare are just like human beings. They're just basically like the opposite, created from negative emotions and stuff like that. She states that the Kigare have goals of their own. It's the Twin Stars' goal to exercise all Kigare and their sins. And she states it's only fair that someone exercises the Twin Stars for their sins, right? Though this is a weird dialogue bubble, I feel like it could have been moved over a little bit. Probably due to the translation or something like that, because this image of Mayura reacting to the news, to what Twin Tail Girl is saying, is covering up a little bit of the dialogue. But I kind of guessed what the words are, because it's just like covering one letter from each. It's not super bad, but it's kind of nitpicky. But then Twin Tail Girl uses a Sound Blast attack, and Mayura points out she doesn't hear anything. It's literally just a frequency of a sound wave. And Twin Tail Girl is planning to literally pulverize Benio from the inside out. But then Benio shouts out with her own silent sound wave, canceling out Twin Tail Girl's and dealing her an immense amount of attack with this opposite sound wave. As Demon Benio begins to cackle. What an idiot! The size of the sound wave was the same, but the amount of spiritual power it was infused with was completely different. That attack was intriguing though. Hey sis, what you gonna do next? Or is it my turn now? As we get a full 2-page spread of an image of Benio transforming once more with the King of Kigare image behind her. So, full power, Great Yin Benio is here. She went through another transformation as she gets ready to pounce and attack everyone else. We get a big impact knocking everyone back, and Mayura gets up from the debris as Benio is towering over her. She kicks and slashes Mayura, but the attack is stopped, as Benio, the real Benio, is struggling to make out her final words, calling out to Mayura with herself managing to break through from the Great Yin's hold, stating, "Please, it's your chance now. Exorcise me. I used one powerful move after another. The Great Yin's spiritual power is unstable. I want you to exorcise me while I'm exposed here." As she's crying, "I don't want to hurt anyone else. Please, kill me before I hurt any," as Mayura stops her, says, "Absolutely not. I came here to stop you. I came here to help you. You're not a Kigare, you're a human being. How could I kill the woman Rokuro loves?" And obviously it's also the fact that the two of them are best friends. They've known each other for years. They have a really strong bond also. And I like that there is a panel. I love that the two of them are tearing up from all this. Mayura continues to say that, "You might have forgotten, but I'm just an ordinary girl. I don't have any special powers. How could I kill you even if I wanted to? You need to use that power of yours to return for us, you idiot. You dingbat." As she's crying, and the Great Yin takes over Benio at the last second again. As Kamui, Subaru, and everyone are looking over, as the attack lands, with an image of Benio and Mayura in middle school together flashes before us, as we see that Mayura was pierced through the chest, the killing blow. As in her mind she says, I did it. I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry, Rokuro. Sorry, Benio." As she fades off, saying, "Take care of Rokuro," with the page going completely black. And then, surprisingly enough, shifting back to the previous page with her saying how she could kill Benio, even if she wanted to. And I'm like, wait, is this like a translation error? Did we get a second page? But then, everyone notices this too. It's like, wait, what the hell? Am I having deja vu? As then, we gotta get a picture of Sakanashi reacting. This spell. As a hand comes out with talismans all over it, grabbing Benio's foot, stopping it from piercing Mayura's chest, as it comes out from a portal. As Rokuro comes in, breaking out of the prison he was placed in, saving Mayura from biting the dust. As Sakanashi says, "How many times must I plunge you into the depths of hell before you surrender, Rokuro and Mado?" With the chapter ending. Now that was an instantly great chapter. I loved it. We got some really nice lore for the King of Kigare. Basically, it's an alien created from the depths of the universe that feeds all negative emotions from living creatures. Okay, cool. Not what I was expecting, but pretty cool. I like it. It's nice, and it presents this thing as a parasitic creature. While I do think we're going to get some type of ego, primarily with Sakanashi, perhaps absorbing it in the end, for all we know, it's a nice bit of lore that explains what this thing is, because it was literally stated in the flashback that it seemingly came out of nowhere. So I'm glad we got this explanation by Amenoseme, her spirit, and this whole talk with Rokuro. And that whole emotional moment where the wholesome emotional moment of Rokuro just thanking Amenoseme for the gift of life, and it was a reason why he's managed to experience so many great things in life, as she tears up with him promising he'll save her. It was just a moment that brought tears to my eyes. Also, that beginning bit with Amenoseme being a doting mother being proud of her son, and Domon just being a very stern and overprotective father figure for Benio, even though she's not there. It's kind of hilarious. I liked it. It was a nice bit of levity from the darkness of the situation, but it was really fun to watch. The action scene against Benio in this new form was honestly really awesome, and for a second there I actually thought Mayura was going to bite it. But Rokuro managed to do something with Great Ying's power to seemingly give everyone a vision of the future, to kind of try and avoid it, but he reaches out, grabs Benio's leg before it pierces Mayura's chest, and saves her life. I'm glad. While it would have been nice to have a proper character death, and it would have fit for this situation, I like Mayura, so I'm not super upset that she was saved from an instant death. The emotional moment there still kind of hits hard though, so that's something. But either way, I'm excited for the next Twin Star Exorcist chapter. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait, because now Rokuro is back in action, and I feel like there's gonna be something's gonna happen to break benio out of this whole great yin thing. But what did you guys think of this Twin Star Exorcist chapter? Did you like everything with that benio? What are your thoughts on the King Kagare's backstory in terms of its origin and stuff like that? While it's not the most original thing in the world, it does make sense for what it was built up to be, like a force of nature. So it makes kind of sense to me, but what do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on the King Kagare and everything as well. Also, Rokuro back, I cannot wait. And what do you think of Benio's new Great Yin form? It looks pretty badass, it looks terrifying. I can't wait to see how she's going to break out of this and how Rokuro's going to pull her back, and how this war is going to play out. But yeah, leave your thoughts and opinions and everything in the comment section down below. And like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to see more Twin Star Exorcist content. It really, really does help, and I want to do Twin Star Exorcist again in the future. So I really hope to see you guys later, and I hope you all have an awesome day.